when life gets tough, this has massively helped me, and I'm just going to give you practical, straightforward ways of tackling these hard situations, what's kept me strong and what's kept my joy in the Lord and made me grateful and have joy through every season, even these tricky ones. And I'm currently going through a tricky one, which I'll share a bit in this video, but I just really wanted to share some really helpful tips, and it's about remembering. And let me just say, disclaimer, I don't know if it's a dyslexic thing or I struggle with remembering. So I just wanted to share with you, first of all, the importance of remembering and remembering all that God has done for us and why it's good, why it brings you closer to God, and how it helps you through these seasons. And then some practical tips on how to help you remember. So first of all, as humans, even if you think you're one of these blessed people, which I'm sure you are, who have a really good memory, we forget. We really do forget. And you have to, if you're reading through Deuteronomy or Joshua, any of those sort of Old Testament things, you think, wow, because you're like reading year to year, page to page. Think, how can you possibly forget all that God has done for you? I don't know what that was. Some bag distracted me. You think, like, how have you forgotten? Like, why are you not praising God? Why are you turning to these false gods, making things like God delivered Israel out of slavery and out of Egypt and parted the Red Sea and did all these amazing things for them. I don't know what that noise is. Yeah, they do forget. In Joshua, it tells you how God really wants you to remember these milestones. When all the people crossed the Jordan River, so bearing in mind, God, a bit like when they crossed the sea, he dried up the Jordan River so they could cross. And this is not like a little stream. This is a current of a big, thick river. When the people crossed the Jordan, the Lord said to Joshua, now choose 12 men, one from each tribe. Tell them, take 12 stones from the very place where the priests are standing in the middle of the Jordan. Carry them out and pile them up at a place where you will camp tonight. We will use these stones to build a memorial. In the future, your children will ask you, what do these stones mean? Then you can tell them, they remind us that the Jordan River stopped flowing when the Ark of the Lord's Covenant went across. These stones will stand as a memorial among the people of Israel forever. Even here, he realizes that they needed a visual reminder of everything that God has done for them. The reason it's so important to remember all God has done for you, whether it's answering prayers or his goodness, just even in the small details, is it's a bit like you hear of the worldly, like the gratitude practice where people every night they write down 3 good things from the day, and it helps them focus and think about the good things in the day rather than letting the bad things take over. And it's similar, but we are just remembering who we are grateful to and who is the author of this goodness, which is God. It keeps us focused on the goodness of God so we don't become complacent, and when tough times come up we can go back to it. So basically, one of the ways I do this is just simply in my phone. I've got a note section, and every time God has done something, he's answered a prayer, he's come through for me, I make a note of the details, and I find it just so helpful, especially when times are hard, just to read through First of all, they're a great testimony as well. If anyone is struggling, then you can go back to them and tell you how God helped you through those hard moments. So it disconnects us from the worry and the fear and the anxiety, and refocuses our brain on all the goodness that God has for you. His plans are for prospering you, for looking after you. He's got a hopeful, beautiful future for you. Also, another good reason for remembering these good things is God deserves our praise, our gratitude. If you're a parent and you give someone a gift, if they just, they're complacent the next day when they don't have a gift, it's not the best thing. He deserves our praise and our gratitude for all he's done, and it will just give you joy. So it's going to keep your spirits up. It's going to keep you positive and happy through those hard times. Another example of remember the wondrous works he has done, his miracles and his judgments he uttered. Another amazing verse about the importance of remembering and meditating on God's goodness is from Psalms again. I remember the deeds of the Lord. Yes, I will remember your miracles of long ago. I will consider all your works and meditate on all your mighty deeds. So that's meditating, that's thinking upon all of God's goodness and making sure that we keep our thoughts aligned. And what we can't forget is we are in a spiritual battlefield. Unfortunately, once negative thoughts, whether they are from the devil or they're just us catastrophizing, the devil will utilize that situation. He will keep nurturing those destructive seeds, those negative thoughts, and he will use it to plant lies, to whisper negativity. So you want to keep your thoughts, your focus on God and his goodness. Now, my mum and dad are going for a really hard time at the moment, and I know my mum won't mind me mentioning this. I did give her this as homework today, to just make a note of all the prayers God has answered. Currently, my dad he has cancer that isn't treatable in a worldly sense. So it's either going to be that God heals him or he goes home to God. So either option, healing or home, is, I know it sounds heartless in a way, but I just trust God, and I know that he has the best plans. So if it's better for my dad to go home, even though it's harder for the people around, and I'm not trying to say that it's like an easy option for anyone, it's, if you're going through it, it can be, heartbreaking when you lose someone. But if they are a Christian, you've got the blessed assurance that they are going to a beautiful place. So that's why I gave that homework to my mum, and I just thank God for all of God is just keeping her so positive. When you speak to her, she's still got the joy of the Lord. Like every day I speak to her and she's just so positive, and obviously caring for him full time and nurturing him and being there for him. She's just managed to just stay, happy and positive. So that's why I gave her the homework, because I think it's a really good practice just to note down and just meditate and dwell on all those goodness, all the beautiful thing God does for us. Even if you struggle, you could just write down the smallest thing, whether it's you prayed for sunshine and the sun was shining down on you that day, you woke up and you're breathing, and you're just start with the small ones, and then you'll find that the more you do it and the bigger your prayers are, you'll see him working miracles through you. Another way of remembering, if you've got the space, you've probably seen the prayer walls before, where you can even just note down current prayers that you're praying into, and then you can add onto it if it's a prayer answered. That's a really beautiful way of reminding yourself every day of the goodness of God. I'm just going to finish it with another powerful verse. Again, it's a psalm. Let all that I am praise the Lord. May I never forget the good things he's done for me. He forgives all my sins and heals all my diseases. He redeems me from death and crowns me with love and tender mercies. He fills my life with good things. My youth is renewed like the eagles. I hope that was helpful. Thank you for liking and sharing and subscribing, all that good stuff. If you are going through a current hard season, then just sending you so much love, and I just pray that God is with you. You feel his presence and his love, him holding your hand through these circumstances. He will never leave or forsake you. So I'm just sending you loads of love. Bye.